Good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Welcome to the Empower Hour. I'm your host, Isabel Starck, and I'm so excited to have you here today. This is episode number 21, and what we're going to be talking to you today about is all about spiritualness and how it can actually manifest so many things, great things for you in your life. Now, I have a lovely guest with me today. She's Norwegian. I'm not exactly sure where she's at today, though, because she likes to travel. So we're going to go ahead and welcome Charlotte Berg. If you would like to go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself, Charlotte, and share with our viewers what it is that you do. And we are obviously going to be opening this up to a Q&A, so I will let you guys know how to ask the question. So Charlotte, take it away.
Yay! First of all, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm very happy to be here. It's so exciting. So my name is Charlotte Berg, and I'm from Norway. Yes, I am. I'm currently in Norway as well, actually. And I have been building my company now, helping people really tune into who they really are, their higher self, and start to manifest their purpose and really live that big life and leave their legacy. Like, that is my mission. That is what I do. That is what I'm all about. And it has been growing pretty fast, pretty soon. So I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I think, that was a short little description of what I do and who I am.
Yeah, well, I would actually, well, first of all, for all of you viewers who are actually on live and would like to ask a live question, this is being broadcast live, as said, and the way to actually ask a question is to be connected to the Google Plus Hangout page. So if you are a viewer who would like to ask a question, you'll see a box either down here at the bottom that says join the conversation. You'll have to click that first. And then you'll be taken to another window which has 9 squares on the upper right or the upper left, depending on your screen. If you just hover over that and click on the app that says Q&A, a side window will open up. Type in your question. I'll be able to read it from this end and make sure that Charlotte gets it to answer. So that's the way to connect live. And I'll be repeating this as we go. So if you're having any issues with that. The other thing is, if you can't somehow connect, feel free to message us at the Facebook group. So if you're not in the Facebook group, you can go to my actual page, which is Isabel Starck. So it's facebook.com/Isabel Starck. And I'll actually be checking there. There is a post with a lovely picture there of Charlotte. So if you post any questions there, I can also read them aloud to her from there. So Charlotte, okay, first of all, I want to get started with the fact that I was obviously drawn to you from a post that you had made. And it was a very, very genuine post. When we finally got on the phone and we got to really know each other a little bit better, we kind of realized the path that you were on. And surprisingly enough, we had actually both taken a certification program, not at the same time, but the same certification.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of actually pretty neat. But we both kind of recognized that during this program, there was something that was just not flowing with either of us, and I think with a lot of the other women as well. But was the fact of really fine-tuning what it is that you do, defining what it is that you do. And that's what I really would love for you to tell our viewers a little bit about is, what was your process? Because it was a 12-month program. 12 months long. For us to really figure out what we're supposed to be doing and how to do it. So I would love for you to kind of share your path, kind of your journey as to what your aha moment was. Like, kind of lead us up to it and then, bam, give it to us.
Yeah, I can do that, yeah. So, I was attending this certification, which was good, which was great, a lot of great people. And, I saw people, skyrocketing to the top. And, I was trying very hard to do that because I was doing all the stuff and I was learning all the marketing and I was like doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. But like nothing really happened, I'm like, what the hell is going on? But because I'm trying, I'm doing, and at the time I was more of a life coach and also a vocal coach because I'm an artist and singer as well. So I was really trying, and I did that a lot. And it came to a point, when I had been struggling with my idol client for like, I don't know, a year, something crazy like that. And I was making like not.
Just to remind everybody, that was actually a very early module in this program that we had. I believe it was module 2.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. I was struggling already, yeah. But obviously it wasn't the ideal client. It was just me who didn't have open up to what I'm really meant to do, right? But I wasn't ready then. I wasn't ready. So that was it. So where was I? And then it came to a point where like everything sucked so much and I was living in a relationship that didn't truly 100% serve me. We loved each other, but it wasn't the right fit, and I didn't make the money, and then my health was crappy, and I was like, had a point when I was like, oh my God, this is not working anymore. Like really, it sucks. And I know I meant for big things, I'm meant to make millions and build, like, I know I go big, that's me, but like nothing in my world were like that. And I was so frustrated, and I came to a point where I don't think if I really kneel down on the floor, like in my mind, I think I did that because I was saying to God or spirit, like, okay, it's not that I give up, but I surrender. Like, show me what to do, where to go. My way is not working. It sucks. I don't know what to do. So I really had the moment of enough suffering, like this is so painful for me, that it came to a point that I said, I don't know anymore. I just surrendered to God. And while I did that, it was like my truth started to come forward, my higher self and my deep truth of what I really want, or who I really am. And I knew that I wanted to be some kind of spiritual teacher. Like I knew I had this whole, yeah.
Yeah,
No?
I was
Okay.
going to say, I want to pause for a moment because, when people talk about really finding their that moment, there was something that led us, each and every one of us, to that moment, to really
Yeah.
have that aha, that opening. So, and for everybody, it's different, but I would love for you to share, if you're open to it, just what it took for you to get there, because I just wrote a post on inspired action and massive action yesterday, and I have a feeling that there might be something a little bit tied to that. So I would love to hear what your process was to actually find that one ideal moment.
The moment when I kind of surrendered.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I think it was, as I said, basically, that there was so much frustration and sadness within me, seeing all these people succeed and not me.
You were doing
And
all the right things. You were surrounding yourself with the right women.
yeah, no, yeah, right. And
It just was not. There was something missing.
yeah, it was something clearly big missing, and it was so frustrating because I couldn't put my finger on what it was or why it didn't work. Or I just didn't understand, and I I think I started to be more mature to myself, like in terms of being more honest. Because the moment I said, you know what, I don't really want to be a coach, or it was the moment, it shifted.
That's a
Or
huge revelation. That's a huge revelation, though, to have signed up for a program, a full year program,
I
and then to
know.
be able to be honest enough with yourself to say, I really don't want to do this.
Yes, I know it was big. It was, but it was so, I had so much suffering, so it's so nice to actually be true. Like that was really good for me to just, okay, at least I'm honest. It's truth. And if you know something about me, I'm all about truth. So that was like my moment of truth, because I remember I was speaking to one of my friends, and I was looking at all these, big coaches, and like they're successful and all of that. And I was like, I want the success, but like there's something that's not fitting right with me and in that. So I was close with the coaching, but it wasn't it, if that makes sense. So just a series of things opening me up to like the truth of what I really want and who I am just led me to that point of surrender. really.
Surrender like for you? Because I've personally been in surrender, and I've had the most amazing things manifest for me as soon as I surrendered. Like
I
literally,
know.
I can count the days. It was literally 6 days when I surrendered, and something that I had been wanting for so long actually became, like, it was born. It happened. So
Right? Yeah.
it's quite an amazing thing. And it's very powerful. Very,
Yeah.
very.
So, so what I did, like after I surrendered, quote unquote, I did, like everything in my life shifted for the better. Like from that day on, it was like another quantum leap after quantum leap after quantum leap after quantum leap, and everything started to align up and get so good. I didn't understand why everything started to work. Um, and like literally 3 days later, after I kneeled down and said help, I received a book, or I came over a book, and once I saw this book, there was this rush through in my body, and I knew, oh my God, that's it, that's the book. I didn't know why, but I'm like, wow, this is it. I'm so excited. And I started to read, and I just read and read and read and read, and my soul was on fire, and I felt, oh my God, I'm back, I'm home. This is, so much more me. And I started to
So
do
was it connecting though that you had experienced before? You were reconnecting with yourself, or was it something that was brand new and it's like, and then you kind of consciously then knew this is the real me?
that's the trick, it's familiar, because it's you. So I think you always will feel at home, you get back home. But I never had that the big experience of it, because I always had, if you read a book and you're like, something really resonates with you, you're like, yes, oh my God, that's so true. Like you resonates with your higher self, your soul, right? With love. And I had moments of that, so I knew, there's something there. But when I saw this book, there was like my whole body were going nuts, and there was this big embodiment of experience of, unconditional love. I felt like I was on a drug. Yeah.
Really is like it's euphoric, it's like ecstasy. And you mentioned coming home, like it was almost like a coming home for you.
Yeah.
I know that viewers are going to be asking, so I'm just going to pop in the question right now: is you want to share the name of this book
I
that
know.
like epic change in you? So please share, because I know people are going to be like asking about it.
Yeah. So it was How to Read Akashic Records by Linda Howe, or something, I think. Linda. If you type that in, people, you will know. You will find it. So that book is all about the soul and the soul's journey, and it's really a higher dimension of consciousness. And the thing was, I have already like had a spiritual side and been very sensitive, but once I read this book, everything just reawakened to like another level beyond me, because I knew everything in the book, like even before like when I started to read, like, oh, is that what I'm doing? Oh my God, yeah, that's so, yeah. And then I was like reading, and everything started to make sense about me. I was like, wow. So it was big. It was big.
Now, does anybody in your lineage, in your family, do they have this draw, this kind of pulling to spirituality, or is it like you're the one?
I'm the one. Yeah, no. I'm actually from a Christian family, or I grew up in a church and all that, so it's more like religious. So it's different.
Which we'll get a little bit to. I saw a recent post that you made, and I commented on it, so I'm sure that that's actually going to come up, because the whole Christianity, I'm also Christian, and yeah, there's a lot of beliefs and a lot of faith that, you take what works for you,
Yeah.
I think that's my belief. But I mean, I'm sure people label, and that's what they do, but look at yourself. And I just need to ask you, how is this feeling that you're experiencing now, and that you've been able to actually share with the world, and being such a young embodiment of a person? Because obviously you're a much older soul, and you come across as
Yeah.
a soul, and much more wiser soul than your actual vessel that you show up with. So what is it like being able to share these gifts in somebody, you know, such young and peachy like you?
It's I can't describe it. You know, I think words can't describe it. It's the only word that can come close is like ecstasy. Seriously, because I feel so free and I feel so grateful and humble, and it's like for me it's the perfect incarnation, if you want, because I have all this gift and all that from the soul and the old things, and but I'm like born into this young generation of new people that's coming from a new generation where people, you know, are connecting more and creating their lives. So it's almost like um I'm with this I like to say very infinite possibilities when, you know, you're young and you're going for it, and that energy is carrying, like it's mixing. Does that make sense? It's mixing, so you're really creating from the most awesome place, and you know, yeah. Does that make sense?
It is like giving birth. I mean,
Yeah, really. But like I think the feeling of being connected to who you really are and really live from that and do that and really serve, it's like no other feeling. I cannot describe it other than you feel free. I have like cried tears of joy. I can't believe how good my life is. You know, it's just an honor. It's just an honor, and I that's why I do what I do. Also because I want everybody or the people who feel called to it to experience it themselves.
yeah, and I have to say, I mean, I've always really admired women who have been able to really, because what I think you've done is you've actually found your
Yeah.
purpose in life, and what it is to actually share with the world, and how to use your gifts and all your talents, and to really, obviously, you had to do a lot of inner work to be able to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there are a lot of people who are out there still searching for their talents in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even, you know, going up.
Yeah.
They're definitely wiser, but you know, they've never really found that one thing. And you know, just the fact that you found it at such a young age and you're able to share it with the world, I think it's pretty amazing. And I have a feeling that people would like to know, you know, what it's actually like actually when you're working with someone. Like, how is it that you're able to call, like are there, I mean, because there's a lot of different spiritual practice teaching. So some people call on the spirits, and you know, what is it about your practice? I think you called it the 3 R's, right? I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It's actually something or actually my mentor also reflected in what I do. It's not like it's my process, you know. It's not as something I read and I just are using it.
So this
Um,
book that you've actually created, you've
yeah,
done the work on, and this is your creation. So yes, tell us about it.
yes. So it's just I've just like analyzed what it is I'm really doing and why it works, but and in a tangible way so people can understand. Because you know there's a lot of energy and a lot of things that can be very intangible, and putting it into be tangible so people can understand. But it's
I have to say, not only tangible, but I think also in kind of layman's terms, because a lot of people find this interesting. I mean, I do. I love it.
yeah.
And if you're not really deep into it, you know, there's some of the terminology, some of, you know, just the sentence structure that's used that's familiar, but not completely clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got it. Yeah. So I wanted to make it very clear, specific for the people who feel called to do this, you know, feel called to create wealth this way or be this way. And I also believe once they see it, they know, you know, it's for them and all. But anyways, the process that I call the 3 R's is the first one is called raise. And what I mean by that is that with the first thing that is happening when someone comes into my space is that their higher self, the awareness of their higher self gets activated. And what I mean by that, because mine is so activated, or my energy is very full of creation. So once somebody steps into the space, their energy is starting to rearranging, and they start to become more aware of, the ecstasy feeling, the feeling of coming home, the like, oh, my yummy place, oh my God, like that they are, they are love, they are peace, that's who they are. And like you raise there so you can become aware, and the more you do that, and that leads you to the next star, which is remember. It's like you remember who you are, and all the illusions and limitations of you thought you were this or you thought you were that just falls, because the higher energies takes over, and the other thing just neutralize itself. And you remember. That's when you remember.
Smile. Oh, you're remembering the first time.
Yeah, I know.
I can see that. I can feel it.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
So we
it's so
have
true.
race, R-A-C-E. Is that what you said? Race.
Yeah, you kind of raise up to it.
Race
Mm-hmm.
to it, and then
Yeah.
you remember.
And then you remember, and you start to embody that, and all of the energies in your system that is not really who you are, or like sadness or shame and stuff we have put on our identity, which is not really who we are, starts to fall away. And the last R is receive. Oh, because it's so juicy, because once you do this, your whole being starts to change, and your perception of the world starts to change, and you start to behave differently, and you start to manifest like that, because the universe is like, we harmonize with different energies. That's why you and I are talking, because we resonate. And once you start to open up, the people and the resources or the money or the circumstance that really resonate with your higher self, you start to recognize each other. So it's not like magic that is popping up from nowhere. Where it's actually that you're getting in resonance again, and then people start to show up, things start to show up, and you need to say yes to it. You need to receive. And it's because it's kind of funny though, because the reason why we are not receiving is because I don't think I'm worthy of receiving, or I haven't done anything for it. Because when you start to live your life from your higher self and working from your higher self, everything becomes so easy. And we know, me, for instance, who had a real hardcore story about sacrifice, especially from the Christian tradition, that I need to work hard, I need to struggle, I cannot be like having abundance of money and be rich and all that, because I need to sacrifice. Once I start to release that story, I could receive all the gifts that God really has for me and for our lives. That is really the last step, and that's when things start to. That's when life gets very fun.
So that kind of leads me to your story. Like, I think it would be great for you to actually share with us about your story and what your life was like before, as opposed to what it is like today. Because I mean, obviously, you're just exuding abundance, and you're super happy, and you can feel the energy is very high from the posts that you've made. You really are connecting with yourself, which is again allowing you to receive all these people. So tell us a little bit more about your background story so people can get to know you a bit.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in Norway, and I grew up in the church, and I kind of didn't really think much about spirituality. Or the only thing I knew though is that I was going to be a singer, and I was going to be a superstar. I still am though, just everybody. I'm gonna do that. But that was like my one thing. Like singing was the thing for me, and I knew I wanted to be on the stage. And so my whole life from I was little was around singing. I sang, and I did concerts and everywhere, like all the time. And I just kept going and going. And I went into high school and did more singing training, and I did more singing training outside of high school. And I just did everything. And I was very disconnected from my body and who I was. I was just really a train, going towards significance really from the singing, because I am a great singer, and people gave me a lot of compliments, so that became my identity. I was a singer. That was my whole thing. That was my worth, basically.
It's interesting because I would have to say, I mean, I didn't know you back then, but I would have to say just the fact of the arts, right? The fact of singing, that it's such a creative space that you almost wouldn't expect people to be feeling what it is that you were feeling when you are singing.
Yeah. No, I kind of had this persona. I think I was me, but I wasn't really truly me. I was I was always like positive and all that, but I kind of used the positivity to cover up a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of traumas that had happened before. So I kind of just used it to totally ignore everything else and just practice, 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 practice to, just not feel anything. And so what changed though is when I got into this fantastic school in Denmark to sing that was very like high end to get into. The first day I came there, I got sick. And the first in the beginning, it was just, the flu and like normal stuff. But then I lost my voice. Funny, huh? Lost my voice. And and then one day I couldn't get out of bed because I couldn't breathe. I had so much pain all over. And so I just had to stop. And that was the moment I knew, okay, there's something wrong.
A huge. Wow. No, that's we froze up there a little bit. I was just saying that that's quite a big sign that was not meant for you at that time in your life.
Yes. Like my body was like, stop, this can't go on anymore. I had so much inside of me that hadn't been expressed. So it was like my body, because I didn't listen, so but my body just shut the whole system down. So I needed to fly back home to Norway, and I was really devastated because it was my dream. So not only did I lose my dream, but I lost my whole identity. And that was really the blessing in the hell because I was forced to stay in bed for some months, and that changed my life basically because
So
yeah.
time in bed, I mean, were you doing a lot of more self-development work? I mean, was it a pity party? I mean, how was your state of mind at that time?
Yeah, so I'd never heard of personal development before, unless Oprah counts.
Yes.
Uh,
Oprah does count. Oprah, yay!
yeah, I know Oprah. Oh my God. But I wasn't depressed because I used positivity back then as well to just ignore the fact that my life was a living hell, basically. Because here I'm very high achiever, and I was like in my bed, like I was 20, and like that was everything I could do. So I started to read. I
Mhm.
just, I remember, this is a funny story. I remember I was in Denmark and this had just happened and I was so mad. And this is what I did, I was so mad. I was like, I'm gonna put on The Secret.
Wow, a
yeah,
secret.
yeah, yeah. That was my mentality. I'm so mad. Let's be a little bit positive here, to ignore how mad I really am. And then I just watched it and I started to thinking, who are those people? Well, what do they do? Why did they end up in this movie? And then I clicked on one of the ladies, and then I saw she had a book called Happy for No Reason. And I was like, oh my God, that is just what I want now, to be happy, because I was so devastated. And I bought the book. And from that day on, I was just reading, 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 because it opened me up to this whole new world of, personal development, spirituality, like more of life. And I really consumed myself in the books when I had, the hardest time in my life. Because, the doctors didn't find anything wrong with me, and another doctor didn't find anything wrong with me. So, but it was clearly something wrong with me because I couldn't breathe and I was dizzy all the time. And yeah, basically.
And the law of attraction. I mean, I guess we have a lot of wisdom that's available. I mean, I have heard oftentimes that when you read a book, take one of these, you basically cross in the timeline. You can actually get 10 years worth of content that maybe you didn't know before and really just soak it in.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know if I shared this with you before, but I'm on a goal of reading a book a week.
Wow, no, I didn't know.
My wealth consciousness reading. So it's a lot to take in, but it's, for me, it's much better time spent than maybe looking at a magazine, because I'm not a really big TV watcher. But
Yeah.
you're just able to soak in what resonates with you, and I do believe that books are brought to you, or at least they manifest in front of you, with your order. So because they need to fulfill something that you're actually lacking. So there's just one little piece of information that you take from it, it's completely worth all the pages that you read.
I agree.
Yeah, so
really agree.
okay, so you're laying in bed, you watched The Secret, you saw the book, you ordered the book, you started diving into it. I'm sure, obviously, law of attraction was a huge thing for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's actually one of the biggest proponents, right, of The Secret.
Yeah.
So where did you go from there?
I just, I just read more and more and more. I dived into Eckhart Tolle. Thank God that came into my life, and a lot of personal development books, spiritual book. Gabby Bernstein, Gabby Bernstein was the first really young model for me, because I knew in that moment, oh my God, I want to be her. I have a message. I don't know what it is, but I want to be her. So I kind of knew all these things back then, but I had never, I didn't know, because I was going through. I started to do therapy because I didn't know what to do. My body didn't go any better. And I started to dive into that. I was so scared of my emotions. I couldn't, I didn't want to look at them, and I thought I was going to die, and, all of that. And it was actually in the therapy that my spiritual gift, so to speak, started to come forth, which I had no idea would happen. Luckily for me, I had a very open-minded therapist who helped me to work.
Because that's not necessarily part of their repartee. But I'm really glad that you actually discovered that then, and they allowed you to actually just really express that yourself.
Yeah, she was a gift from heaven. I know she was meant to help me. That is just set in stone. I'm forever grateful for her to open me up that way. But to be honest, it was a living hell. I didn't know if I were going to make it, to be honest. And a couple of times I thought I was going to die. Like, I really thought this was it, because my body was so ill. So I think those specific incidents made the urgency in me change. I was like, oh my God, I can die tomorrow. I can literally die tomorrow. I got a huge wake up call. And that's when, I was like, I better get my ass moving. I don't care about the fear anymore, basically. At that time, I just want to move forward and not waste any moment of my life, and start to do what I really want to do.
So during this time, you were still having episodes. You were still having those instances of not being able to breathe. That was still happening.
Yeah, but as I started therapy, everything started to get better, and I started to do Tai Chi and Qigong, if you heard of that. I started to do that as well, and my body started to get better and better and better. And so I did. This was like a year or two. It took a long time to get back. And at the same time, I started to like, oh my God, I can, like, there's coaches. I'm like, what? And like, at the same time, so I was opening as I was going back and releasing. I was opening at the same time. So it was these two things happening at the same time.
So I'm guessing here, this probably, I mean, what it is that you're doing now really ties to your experience that you actually went through and were able to discover and kind of get through. So is this really what drives you? Is this, your big why?
Yes, it is. It's funny though. The universe has a sense of humor, I think, because I have a very strong, like, creation energy, like I really talked about, and when I was lying in bed, like I knew that, oh my God, I need to create now. Like, and those two things really mix great together, because I got a wake up call and the urgency, and who I really am is a lot of like high enthusiasm, going forward, making stuff happen. So those two things came together so perfectly. And yes, it is my big why. It's because, we can, what's the point if we're gonna, be in fear or live an ordinary life, if that is not your dream? Like, what are you doing if you're not moving forward? Like, what? So yes, it's
Now, do
my
you
big why.
feel when you're walking around, and I guess this is coming up for a reason, but do you feel like when you look around, whether on the sidewalk or on the bus or in the car, that so many people are walking around unawakened?
Mm-hmm.
And I just, that's really been standing out for me a lot. I run, so I was running this morning, and I have to say this morning was actually a beautiful, beautiful morning, because out of all the people that I ran past, I always smile, I always say good morning, or good morning,
Yeah.
But there was only one out of maybe a dozen people who didn't reciprocate, and my heart just went out to her.
Yeah.
And just feeling like, there's a certain level of consciousness, not only for ourselves, but like the whole planet. The people are just becoming more awakened, more aware, more just present in what
Mm-hmm.
that they're doing every moment of the day. And do you find that? I mean, not only with your clients, but like when you are you just like inundated with that when you go to the coffee shop and you're like, oh my God, it's like, "Oh, go to this."
Yeah, I used to have like this big thing about saving people, because I'm like, oh no, I need to save you from yourself because you're not awakened. I used to have this big thing going on, but I worked really hard to let that go, because it's not in my power to do so, within my family as well, that I can't save them, even though I want them to wake up. I can force the process. You can never do that. So it came to time for me that I'm focusing on myself and like the people who are available to be helped. And I'm going to go nuts if I don't do that. So I really trained myself to not do that. But obviously I my heart goes out to people who suffer when it's unnecessary to do so. But I don't go around thinking about it so
But you
much.
are aware. I mean, I wasn't saying that you go out and you try to help them. I was more
Yeah, I get, yeah.
something very present that's, I guess, it's just very prominent when you step into a room. You can really feel the energy, and just expressions say so much, you know.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, so I think for me, as we talk now, what comes up is, for me, I think the best way for me to really help is to be so like myself, turned in, tapped on, ready to go, that people who really are curious, so what is going on with her, they start to come themselves. I think that.
okay, so I want to talk about the flip side, because I know that for every high there is a low.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel, I mean, how is it that you actually get through any of those lows? Or are you experiencing them anymore? I mean, how does your day kind of go?
I didn't hear, like, what's the first thing?
For every high, there's a low.
Yeah.
Our
Mm-hmm.
whole goal is to be somewhat in the middle and have a lot
Yeah.
of highs. But I mean, nobody has a perfect life.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
How is it that you deal with when something's presented to you that maybe doesn't go the way it's planned or as you desired?
Yeah, great question. I used to be very high and low, because when I was high, I was like on the top of the world and I could conquer everything. But I was on like the lowest. I was like, I don't know if my name is Charlotte anymore. Like, I was very doubting everything, or like super confident. Um, so that used to be my pattern.
Mhm.
But it was really, a lack of confidence in myself, basically. So unless, like, the key for me, what changed was when I stopped projecting myself shame and guilt on everything and everybody, that was the moment I got more balance in my life, because then I wasn't, you know, devastated when things didn't go my way, like right away. I wasn't devastated, you know. I was like, okay, that sucks, but you know, I'm not going to project my failure or whatever onto that thing, because it's just a thing. But it depends on the thing, you know. If it's really big, you know, I express whatever anger or feeling or sad, whatever is coming up. But
That's
I'm,
fun to be able to be free enough to actually express it, because
yeah.
you know, bottling it in
Hmm.
is just going to make it erupt at the wrong time.
Yeah, I know. So that is, you know, very important to do. This comes from a person who didn't know how to handle her feelings. But I have also find that I create unnecessary drama as well. When it's not like big things, you know, when you're in business and you don't have 15 clients coming in, like you don't need to feel shitty about it. You can just move on and do it again and again. So there's obviously different kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, but also just keep showing up. Like you said, people have just been flocking to you, because I remember a post that you made, and I'm paraphrasing here. I know it's not your exact words. And you're saying, I was just posting videos of myself dancing and having a good time, and people were not contacting me. You were just,
Yeah.
so, you know, regardless whether you've got, you know, a lineup of people waiting to work with you, you know that it's just a constant flow of it coming.
Yeah,
Trust.
exactly. Trusting. Because in the beginning I was like, oh yeah, come on. But there was a lot of fear in that. But now I'm more like, I already have. I already have, even though it's not showing up like it's there right now, but it's already here. It's already now. So yeah.
So tell me, do you have to work on that confidence piece? Because you mentioned confidence, and confidence really comes through in your posts and
Yeah.
spoken before. You know, you on video right now, you're very confident.
Woohoo!
Being the young peach that you are, and being, you know, so confident, something that you had to work on. Are there any tips that maybe you can tell our viewers to help increase their own personal confidence?
Yes, I think confidence is a big part of me and my work and all that, because I used to have so low confidence or self-esteem that I really had to work really hard to get it back. Um, but the thing that really changed for me was when I, quote unquote, found my purpose and what I really meant to do, what I'm here for. And, you know, that has everything to do with just expressing who you are. And that's why people don't find it, by the way, because they're afraid of expressing who they are because of shame. So once I started to do that, my confidence grew, because, you know, me allowing myself express myself grew. Um, and the more I allow to express myself and live on purpose and really accept that, the more, like, that's the true confidence, I think. That's the confidence that you don't need testimonial for. You don't need likes. You don't need people to say that you're good or you're bad. You just know in your heart of hearts that this is who you are. This is what you're all about. You are love, and you are this confidence that is, you can have for free, that's already there. um, so it really shifted when I started to open up to my purpose and accepting completely who I am. And it's still, you know, it's still working, because I've created success, but now I'm going to the next level. And then, you know, I need to open more to allow myself to receive at that level and that level, right? So the confidence always grows. But if it's one tip, it is to start to align yourself with your higher self and allow yourself to express yourself from your core and not put any shame on that. That is my very tip.
Awesome tip, and I love how you mentioned that we are love. You know, I truly do believe that at the core of each human being, we are love, we are goodness, and
Yes.
learning ways to actually express that. You know, for you, I'm sure at a certain point, you know, music and singing is love. You know, it was a way for you to express it, but then it took on a different connotation, and now this is your full expression of love, and I can really feel that. So thank you very much for sharing that piece.
You're welcome. Of course. Yeah.
Oh gosh. So okay. So one of the things I really like to ask is, I mean, everything that you've accomplished, how do you really define success? Because you've literally gone from like here to, you know, off the charts. And, you know, have you reached success? What do you define as success?
Like when you say that, the first thing that want to pop out of my mouth is I am successful. Like seriously, because I do believe success is expressing and being who you truly are, and being you're really one with love, you're one with spirit or God if you want, you're one with it. And that is, I think that's what we're all striving for in the first place. So I think that is success, and constantly living that out, and taking, like, following and taking action, and constantly growing into more and more of that person, is true success for me. And that is what I'm doing. And I think that's why I'm successful when it comes out of my mouth, because I feel successful, even though there's so many more heights for me, or for everybody. I still feel unbelievably successful. It's a state, I believe. It's a state, because, you know, the outside can't change like that. But your state doesn't need to change.
Yeah, I think that too. Your state doesn't need to change, but it's just how it is that you're feeling from the inside. Oh, that's beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful. And
Yes.
you talked about a few things, and I'm just kind of interested to know, are there any kind of tools that you actually use to be able to, like, say for example, there's somebody on the line watching, and they would like to know how to actually connect more. I mean, for you, you started reading. I mean, that was obviously one way to get there. But are there any other tools that you recommend people to actually connect with?
Yeah. I think the first thing to do is be willing to experience it. Like to say, I'm willing to experience this good, yummy, my higher self, you know, what I'm really here for. I'm willing to experience that and step into that energy, because once you step into that energy, they will get the perfect tool for them. Whether that's a book, whether it's exercise, whether it's a coach, the person will come into your life, or the book or whatever. Once you really say, I'm ready to do so, it will show up. Um, yeah, so that is even better, because you get the specific thing you need, because people need so many different things dependent on where they are. But obviously, whatever inspires you from the soul, like if it's a book, if it's a coaching, it's a program or whatever, go to the expansion, because your true self, your higher self is very expansive. So follow that, and you'll find it.
Now, you were able to I mean, I don't know if manifest is really the word, or just really come to trueness with yourself. You were able to do this in such a short amount of time. So it's really, I don't know if that's a normal time frame, or what people can really expect in, you know, doing work. Well, the other thing is, actually, did you end up hiring a coach to help you with that? Or was it, you know, with the program that you and I were in, that kind of also helped you get there? I mean, how did that process go about? Because I don't think I had asked you that before.
Yeah, no, you know, once I surrendered and the book came into my life and all of that, the perfect mentor came into my life as well, obviously. So I hired her, spent more money than I ever spent, but it's the best money I've ever spent. So yeah, I had a mentor who really could help me put this into a business, or how I can make this work for myself. But to answer the other question about how fast things, you know, happen, like I am all about doing things fast, so it happens fast for me. But it can happen fast, and I want people to understand that it doesn't need to take a lot of time. That's a concept, because, you know, if you the universe time is only now. So if you take away time, you only got now. And if you could really start to, you can have your quantum leap right now with a shift of awareness. You know, it's really here. That's the beauty. You know, it's already here. You just need to become aware of it. And once you become aware of that, you take action on it, and your life changed so fast that it's blowing your mind.
It could literally just be a snap of the fingers, that as soon as you become aware, And
Yes.
you actually said put action behind it, because you can have become aware of a lot of things. And I'm sure a lot of my friends have as well, but it's actually putting the action behind that awareness, and I guess also that purpose, you know, that you're able to receive it and open up to it. So
Yeah, and you know the energy of your higher self or purpose is very expansive, and it's very like you get so much fire that you want to do it. It's not like you need to force yourself. You want to do it. Like it comes naturally, and you keep going until you know we meet some resistance or something that you need to work through, but you need to go and you go and you go. And it's almost like instead of you pushing, it's the vision or your purpose pulling you. So you just need to follow the pull, if that makes sense.
real life examples of, you know, how awareness like that can actually translate, you know, whether it's your personal experiences or maybe with some of your clients, without mentioning any names, of course, because it's all
Yes.
confidential.
Yes. I have a lot of great stories from my clients. I can tell you about
We got
one.
10 minutes left, honey, so go for it.
Oh my, okay. Yeah, like one came to me, for instance, who said, you know, I'm not sure about my thing. She was a great coach, and like in our first session, I instantly knew that that was not her purpose, and she's a writer and she needs to write about this, and she was like, yeah, oh my God. And fast forward, like I think it's 6 weeks or 7 weeks, I'm not completely sure, and now she's closing down her coaching business, and she has unbelievably manifested a job where she gets to hang around, you know, people who are like millionaires and like have $250 million companies, because that's the level she's going forward. And now she has an abundance of time to write, and she's making more money, and you know, she's like stepping more and more into this, and all of this is just preparing herself for the success that's kind of come. But it happened so fast since I spoke to her, and how she really changed, and all her reality started to change. And I think, you know, when I work with clients, I have a lot of outer results, but also the fact that they say, you know, I feel very good, you know, I feel yummy, I feel happy, I feel I think that's the biggest accomplishment, because they feel good, they feel themselves, you know, they're not striving for whatever, but they're starting to go down this golden path. Or another client of mine who came, and she know, I'm not too excited about my business, what is missing, right? And then, you know, I started to work with her, and we started to open her up, and like suddenly she just got it, you know, what she's all about, who she really.
So in your example, like I'm thinking about your first example, was something resonated for you, like, and I was going to ask you about that. It's like, was it a feeling? Was it a connection of a higher self? What was it that it sounds like it came from, like you instantly saw it, and in your second client, you helped her see it for herself.
Yes, because here's the thing. I only receive from people what they need to hear, because she needed more openness to understand like how expansive and big her purpose and who she really is. Yeah, and who she really is. But the other client, she was available to hear it, like from spiritual point of view. So it's just different processes. But I like, and once she starts to open up, I see, because the great thing about it is that I see where they're meant to go. I see their destiny. I see it. I know this is where they're meant to go, and it just, you know, takes them there. Kind of.
Collapse the timeline. Collapse the timeline.
Yeah, collapse the timeline. Make it now. Yeah, yeah. Basically.
Wow, those are actually great examples. And, you know, like you said before, you know, the people that you actually work with, these transformations, I guess if you'd like to call them, they can happen such an instant. As long as you're able to, I guess what I'm taking away is, as long as you're able to recognize the awareness and in the moment, and be able to take actionable steps to follow up on it.
Yeah, but like the key here is that it's not like you think, oh my God, now I need to take action. It's more like, oh my God, I'm gonna take action, and then
I can't wait to inspired action, and that's what I was talking about earlier, you know, inspired versus massive.
Yeah.
What I've really found is the ones that work are the ones that are inspired massive.
Exactly, like enthusiasm, like all over the place. It's the strategy. Yeah, and by the way, this client, did you know, just emailed me and said like, "Oh my God, I just had my first tie-in sale," and now she's like filling her program, and she's like rebranded like 48 hours later. It's amazing.
Wow. No, that's really great. That's really awesome
She's great.
that those successes can happen so quickly, and it's just really about aligning and being not just aligning, because you still need someone to help you, guide you on that path, especially if you've been kind of floating around or just really trying to discover. Like, it's no discover,
Yeah.
discover it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are there any kind of tools that you use to get your fullness, your work done completely? I mean, in the past, there's been people who really talk about tangible tools or apps that they use to make sure that they get it done. But you're in a totally different realm where I'm just kind of like visualizing like rocks and incense or some certain rituals that you have. So do you have any rituals that you'd like to share with us that allow you to do the work that you do?
Do you mean in my business?
Yeah, well, in your business, but for you to actually be able, to do your business, to be completely aligned with yourself. In some cases it might be a coach or tools do you use? We froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So first of all, I always like have a coach. I really live that. You gotta have a coach too, because you can't see what you can't see, right? You just need somebody to see for you, so you can take you wherever you want to go. But teachings and books and things that really inspires me, that keeps me my juice, that keeps me inspired and in enthusiasm. I really do that. Whatever, I just follow. I follow the inspiration. And by doing that, oh my God, that's a new book. That's a new person I can really resonate with. Or I don't really have any specific rituals other than following your enthusiasm. But it's working great.
Really being open to receiving. It sounds like receiving
Yeah.
around you to see how it can translate into like your fullness is what I'm getting.
Exactly. Yes. And if it's one thing, you wake up with, okay, I am a limited possibilities. Like, show me what's possible today, And from that open space, you can just receive so much that you didn't even think about.
Yeah, well, I can literally picture you like jumping out of bed and
not always
dancing downstairs.
I dance a lot though, but I don't always jump out of bed. No.
You need your coffee first. Maybe you need your coffee first.
Maybe.
Oh, well, we're getting back to the last couple minutes of the show, and I would really love for you to share with our viewers what is in store for Charlotte Berg for the year 2015. We're entering the last quarter starting tomorrow, and I'd just love to know what it is that you have in store. What were your plans? I mean, you started the year off completely different than how you're going to do it. So share with us, what is your big goal to accomplish this year?
So I'm definitely taking my business over 6 figures. That's for sure. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I know. That's just the beginning, people. Okay. And then I'm traveling a lot. So I'm traveling to Croatia and France and the United States. I'm going to go to, and yeah. I think, and to fill up my programs, obviously that's gonna go
Traveling
as well.
Going to be doing any speaking, or are you just going to travel to kind of experience different cultures?
Yeah, I'm traveling to experience, but also to do like live stuff in my business. I might be do speaking, I don't know, or maybe some singing. I don't even know yet.
Oh, look at you! Well, hopefully, if you're somewhere near Toronto, we'll definitely connect, and love to meet in person, my dear.
Yes, we got to do that.
Well, on behalf of myself and all the viewers and everybody who's going to be watching the replay, I really want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up. I know it's different time zones and all, but I'm really grateful for you being able to share your gifts, finding your gifts, and being able to share them with the world and share them here with our viewers, because I think this whole realm of spirituality is sometimes a little bit just kind of like people don't know about it enough. So hopefully during our interview, people got a little bit more clarity as to what it is and what it can actually do for them in their business and in their life. So thank you once again. Really, really loved having you on. And stay tuned next week, everyone, as we're going to be showcasing a gentleman who has pretty much, he's in the top 30 of all periscopers in the world.
Ooh.
So out of 15 million viewers, he's in the top 30. So really excited to bring him on. And again, thank you very much, Charlotte. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
And you can say bye-bye to all the group.
Bye!
Next time. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.